TaCoS, probably one of the most used, talked about, and most celebrated metrics on Amazon. It is that one metric to rule them all. But when someone says, I want to lower my TaCoS, what does that even mean? What are some actionable steps to lower your TaCoS? In this video, I will break down the TaCoS equation, then we'll come up with 4 actionable steps to lower your TaCoS. If you are bothered by previous vagueness of how to lower your TaCoS and want actual actionable steps, stay tuned. I'm Rick Wong, an Amazon seller and also the marketing manager here at LandingCube. And if you're interested in content such as this one, where we geek out on anything Amazon, I invite you to subscribe. Okay, so I used to work for an Amazon aggregator, and I will link that experience in the link below. They are just obsessed with lowering TaCoS. What they like to see is just lower the ad spend, and that is basically what they're really after. It's very simplistic and even medieval. What a lot of novices don't know is that lowering ad spend is only part of the equation for lowering TaCoS. So as a well-informed Amazon seller, you will lower TaCoS like a surgeon by dissecting TaCoS, then lowering it in each portion of that equation. So let's show you the actual equation for TaCoS. So if you see my slide right here, what everybody sees is ad spend over total sales as the denominator. So what a lot of people do is that they obsess about lowering this amount. But that is just not the end of the story. If you actually break down the TaCoS equation, it actually looks like this, right? Ad spend, right, as a numerator is impression times CTR times cost per click. The denominator, total sales, is sessions times unit session percentage, which would basically be the conversion rate of your Amazon listing, times average order value, AOV. So if you actually totally break down the TaCoS equation, it looks like this. Impression times CTR times cost per click divided by session times unit session percentage times AOV. If we actually look at the equation, impressions and sessions, I think we don't really need to talk about how to increase that much, right? I mean, if it's ad spend, you want to increase impressions, you could just pump up the ad spend, increase the bits, right? So let's not talk about that. Let's talk about how we could really lower the TaCoS. So how do we actually lower TaCoS? So you see in this equation, if I were to cross out the impressions and the sessions, obviously if we get some conversions and we start getting sales, this will take care of itself. So we don't really need to talk about that in that much details. And this one, we just pump up the ad spend, we get more impressions, right? But to truly really lower TaCoS, we need to work with these 4 variables, and that is CTR, cost per click, unit session percentage, which is also conversion rate, and average order value. This is really how we will lower the TaCoS. So basically the 4 actionable steps is right here. We are going to do these 4 things to lower TaCoS. Number 1, we're going to increase the click-through rate. So how the percentage of time people see your particular listing and click on it, lowering the cost per click. So that's an advertising component to it. So the advertising part is really the only one component of lowering the TaCoS. Number 3, we are going to try to increase our conversion rate or unit per session percentage as per the business report on Amazon. They put that as a unit session percentage. It's really the conversion rate. So you're going to try your best to increase that by making your product as attractive as possible and also making a listing that converts. Lastly, number 4, you're going to try to increase your average order value. And I will give you some tips in how to do that when we get to that particular slide. Okay, so let's talk about how we can increase click-through rate. So click-through rate is basically number of times that your ad has been shown and someone has clicked on it. So that is a click-through rate. The general idea is that, is your listing attractive enough to be clicked versus your competition? And you gotta really be honest here, right? I mean, if you price something really high, right, compared to your competition, your click-through rate will be really low. You need to be cognizant of around 5 things, right? So if you actually look at the product, let's just say I'm selling a yoga block, right? A few things that I really need to look at is, number 1, main image. Is your main image attractive, right? Is your main image clear, right? Is your main image optimized for mobile, right? For example, I do like this particular image right here. It's very clear what it is. It's very large. It takes up a lot of white space and is as big as it could be if I were scrolling on mobile. And it tells me also the variation as well, which is pretty cool. Second that a lot of people don't talk about is also the ad slots of your listing. So for this one, right, this is a very premium ad spot right here. Basically the first thing you see is this particular brand, TaCoS, and then it's the sponsored brand banner. Also, another ad slot that is very attractive that would make people stop scrolling would be this particular ad slot right here, which would be the sponsored brand video. And it's a very attractive ad slot because if it's like really nice creative, right, it really would get people to stop the scroll and click on it. So with CTR, another thing that you want to do is stop the scroll. Get people to stop scrolling, consider your product to be clicked on. The other thing that you need to look for is the pricing. Is your pricing attractive relatively to your competitors? So you can see some of them are much cheaper than the others. Some are much more expensive than the others. So expect the ones that are much more expensive to have a much lower click-through rate. For example, this one, right? The one with a particular grip. The click-through rate might be a bit lower, but at the same time, it's balanced out by the fact that the product right here seems actually materially different than the other with the grips, right? So whoever was really interested in a product like this that has a grip will have like a high CTR and a high conversion rate just because of the uniqueness of the product. So the product uniqueness is another thing that can also drive CTR as well. And also the reviews. So obviously for anything that has like a high number of reviews, and a lot of times will drive the CTR and CVR. At the end of the day, Amazon is a marketplace, right? It's very hard for you to really distinguish your product in a sea of other products. So what drives CTR and CVR a lot of times, it's really the price and also the review count. So you can see this one right here. The price is pretty high relatively to the competitors, and there's no reviews. I would venture to guess that this particular listing has really low CTR compared to the others. Another thing that you could look to do is also the badges right here. See like the bestseller badge, the Amazon Choice badge, and also you can see like these like discount badge. They also help to drive CTR to make your listing a bit different than the competition. Okay, so on the next thing that you can do, so the first thing would be CTR. The next thing would be lower your cost per click. So this is really the only Amazon advertising side of the equation, right? So if you want to lower the TaCoS, you need to lower the cost per click. So it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I'm not going to talk about too much about on the advertising side, but the general consensus is for this is that is your Amazon advertising the most optimal it could go? Are you targeting for keywords and also product ads that are really highly relevant to your product that you are selling, right? So relevancy is the key to driving down the cost per click. Amazon advertising is very smart. They know how to match your product to an ad, right? If they're highly relevant, they will give it a relevancy score and lower the cost per click, right? So obviously, first thing that you can do is lower your bids. Another thing that you could do is also the campaign bid strategy for sponsored products. So if you actually go to my Amazon advertising console, and if you actually go to like a sponsored product ad, if you actually go to campaign settings, on the campaign bidding strategy, there is 3 settings, right? The most optimal strategy, the least aggressive strategy would be this one right here, right? And that would be dynamic bid down only, right? In this particular strategy, Amazon will lower your bid down to 100% lower if it deems that particular keyword or the ad is less likely to convert. So that is a very conservative strategy here on the bidding side to lower your cost per click. And I also did a detailed video on that as well. So I would also link that video below on what all these 3 strategies mean and also what these like placement strategy means. The points 3 and 4 is basically on the keywords that you target, right? So you want to a lot of times target for keywords that have at least 3 words, right? The more words that it has, the more long tail the keyword is, right? And the long tail keywords normally give you a much lower cost per click than if you're selling like a yoga block, right? That in my previous example, instead of just saying yoga block, 2 words, you could say large yoga block for men, yoga. So basically it gives you a direct connection for that keyword to your product, right? So in my case, main keyword that I'm bidding for in this sense, you see like a lot of my keywords that I'm bidding for, it has at least 3 words to it. So you can see baby camera wall mount, corner camera mount, instead of say camera mount, for example. These are the more long tail keywords that you can use to potentially lower your cost per click and make your keyword more relevant. And the last point is when you add keywords, be very careful on the keywords or the products that you are adding to your bid targets, right? Vet each one carefully. Make sure that is relevant to your product. Because I have seen a lot of people would gather a huge list of keywords from Helium 10 and just dump it all into the campaign and expect the Amazon advertising to do its magic, right? And you do not want to dump that much keyword, especially in a campaign that doesn't have enough budget for you to kind of be bidding on 1,000 keywords. So definitely not do that. Don't do any like keyword dump. The third thing that you could do to lower TaCoS is to increase conversion rate. So that would mean is your listing copy up to par, A+ content up to par, is your shipping with FBA. You know, if the customer could get it in their hands, right, within a short time frame that FBA and Prime supports, right, then the conversion rate would be much higher. And then also price and review would also come into factor into play as well, right? So you can see this particular listing, the image is really well done. There is like a video on the actual how the product is used, right? I think the bullets are very informative, right? It talks about like the product in detail, non-toxic, right? Alleviate some of the concern of like a product, some social proof. And then you can see like there's also a lot of coupons as well. And then there you can see the A+ content, non-toxic, water-based ink, flexible tip. It hits on the benefits. And then it's talk about like, you know, different colors that it has, and also comparing the items within the same brand as well. So even though like this particular listing might not convert, but it will convert on the brand's other product at the very least, because it has such a large catalog, and basically it could bunch together all the products within the brand into like the A+ listing, right? So if you're able to do that, that would definitely help with conversion. So obviously here you can see that also it's sold by Artesia and it's in stock, right? And the customer will get it, you know, June 8th, and right now it's like June 6th. So to get it in like 2 days, there is very little friction. So basically make sure that all this is ordered, the shipping, the listing copy is good, you have your video, A+ content is all good. So once you know everything is deemed well done in your listing side, and then you could continue to optimize it with like new keywords from different analytic sources, then that would help your conversion rate for your product. Okay, and lastly is increase your average order value. So there are a few ways to kind of increase your average order value. I talked about in detail, and I could link that video below as well about how we can increase the average order value. But basically, what you can do is like bundle things together to increase the actual overall price. You can see this one right here. It bundles the popcorn, right? And also the popcorn popper, right? The 2 popcorn popper, I think. And then there is the variation with only the popcorn only. So these are ways that you could like bundle your products to increase AOV. Another way to increase your AOV is like to have some more premium variation. It could be more of a premium variation of product, such as a different design, a more updated design, or it could be made of a more premium material. For example, like let's just say if you're selling in a bedding, for example, one could be made of cotton, the other could be made of silk, right? Or something like that to that effect. So in all ways that you could create a premium variation. The fourth way is subscribe and save. So you can see right here, if you do the subscribe and save, the customer will get like a discount, but there's a reorder going on, right? So you potentially increase your lifetime value, which on a whole would increase your AOV as well. Lastly, you could increase the AOV by like coupons. So you can see like 2 ways that you could increase the AOV through couponing. First is that you could have like a coupon right here where they could save 2% off by using this coupon code if they select 2 items, right? Another way is that you could get them with the promo code to purchase different items, right? For example, in this offer right here, it's telling them to purchase this item, the 4-pack, right? And 1 other item to get an extra 5% off, right? So you could give some conditionality as in you need to buy this and that to get that 5% off, and then or you could get like 10% off if you buy 2 items of this product. So those are a way to use like these coupons to increase your average order value. So that concludes the 4 actionable steps for you to lower your TaCoS. And I'm not sure if you have populated LinkedIn or work with people in the industry that are obsessed with TaCoS. It seems like there's a lot of talk around this topic, but there are just no content out there that really digs deep into how this is actually done. I think a lot of people that talks about TaCoS, to be honest, I don't think they know what they're talking about. So if someone asks you how to lower their TaCoS, ask them exactly what they really want to do, especially now that you're armed with this information. So lastly, if you're looking to grow your business and audience using off Amazon traffic, check out LandingCube. We are an Amazon selling specific landing page builder that allows you to collect emails, monitor off Amazon traffic such as Google, Facebook, Reddit ads, and also hooks up to Amazon attribution for you to get your 10% brand referral bonus. Sign up now with a 21-day free trial in the link below. And until the next video drop, happy selling.